I remember Leo was one of the ones that wanted to go on to level 3. And I was thinking it could be a big step. Now, at that time, I'd not taught level 3, so I wasn't sure of the level of the course. So I was new to it. And to be fair, I think the standard it's similar to level 2, just with maybe a bit more work, so a little bit more research, a little bit more technical skill, but you get more time on level 3 to be able to do this. And I think Leo straight away did not look out of place on level 3. He already had a grasp of the basics of the camera shots and movements, etc. He's already used Premiere Pro. He liked using Premiere Pro, so that was another good thing. So again, Leo could just develop skills at his own pace. So on level 3, he never looked out of place. And to be fair, he shouldn't have done, because he was getting high marks on level 2, and it's normally a good measure of whether someone's going to be all right on level 3. So yeah, I think level 3 has probably been Leo's best year, if you like. Just the way that he completed and just allowed himself more time to develop skills and got really good at lots of different things, not just filming and editing, but working with other people, coming up with ideas. Yeah, really impressed.
Alright, so the first assignment that I did on level 3 year 1 was a research and presentation assignment, which was basically completing a full investigation into a film of my choosing, which was Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. No preference at all. And I had to present my findings into a presentation, so I had to do some research to find out the budget of the movie, how it was marketed, the director of the film, what awards the movie won, and what camera shots were used. I had to get some primary research to find out some opinions about the movie in general, and then put that into a presentation to show my peers. And again, I was still building up my presenting skills, and that's pretty much what I did in level 3 year 1 for my first assignment. So the second assignment that we did on level 3 year 1 was a horror film assignment, and pretty much we had to create a 3 to 5 minute short horror film. At first we did a short horror film, like a little tester one, which I was put in the group with Mel and Kieran, and it was basically just us playing around with some of the Foley sound they would use typically in a horror film. And we did decide to film around the stairway in the college, because we thought it was one of the scariest areas around the college. And at the bottom of the stairway there's like a fire escape, so we used that so we could make it look like me and Mel were trapped and we couldn't escape. So that's pretty much what we did for our mini horror film anyway. For my actual horror film I'd made a thriller short film, and the plot of it was that I was waking up, getting ready to go to the shop, and halfway I hear like a scream, and I go to investigate it, which is what you do in like a horror film. And I come across a forest that I would enter it, and I'd see a piece of paper on a log saying, "You're gonna die." Whoa. And suddenly a man with a machete comes out of nowhere, which I trip, and the machete guy kills me, just for me to wake up like it's from like a nightmare. Then I come out of bed and I'd wash my face, just like thinking it was just a nightmare, it wasn't real. But it ends in a cliffhanger, which the guy with the machete appears behind me, and it cuts like a cliffhanger with some music, and that was the whole plot. However, there was a lot of problems with me filming that. The first problem I had with filming was that there was no audio. So I had to include so many Foley sounds, I had to include ambience, I had to include screams, I had to record my own audio as well, just because I tried to make it look like it was going through the actual proper scenes and make it sound like it looked real. So that was a problem. Another problem I missed was that one of the scenes I missed, because it was supposed to be like a close-up on the paper, which I missed, which did kind of annoy me. And overall, the video was all right, but I really wasn't happy with it. So if I did it again, I probably would have made it a lot better. And that's pretty much some of the problems I had to deal with making that video. And that's pretty much what I did for the horror assignment. So the first piece of working experience that I did on level 3 was filming Aladdin pantomime at Grimsby College. I remember we had to watch a rehearsal of the performance to write down some notes of what camera shots I could use when filming. So we could actually plan out where the best locations would be to film, in which we decided there was going to be 3 videographers, and we'd plan out where they'd be. So the middle was capturing like the audio and the centre of it. We had one on the right that was capturing another angle of it, and then the left capturing that side as well. And we actually know when the break happened, so we could swap the batteries out during the break, because the batteries would die if I didn't film the entire thing, and we won't be able to capture the whole performance. So after we filmed the panto, we edited using a thing called Multicam in Premiere Pro, which basically syncs all the cameras and audios together, so I can choose which angle would be suited in specific angles and what my preference would be. So furthermore, we edited that. It turned out great, and it was put on YouTube, and I was pretty happy with it.
My thoughts on the Aladdin panto, I think it was pretty good for what I knew back then in year 1, because I didn't know a lot about like cameras and editing at the time, and this was like my first bit of experience that I did. So having to remember all the basics that I learned from the camera with the A16, I think, or A160, yeah, that's it. And I had to learn how to film in the dark while filming the panto, and how to change the battery each time there was like a pause. And yeah, that was a bit of a struggle, but I managed to do it. And I also had my class to help me out with like signals of when to record and when to stop recording. So yeah, I think that experience was pretty good for what I knew back then.
The third assignment that I did on Level 3 Media was an advertising assignment, which this time we had to create a website, so it was a bit slightly different to Level 2. And the purpose of us creating a website was to create some promotional material that is suitable for social media to promote the Grimsby Institute. The first thing that I did on the assignment was researching into some of the history of advertising, show how they've used to advertise products from the past. Then after that, after we did some research into the advertising in history, James put us into groups of 3, and I was put into the group of Alfie and Mel, and we had to create a website based on photography. So then we worked as a team to plan out what we could include in our website, which we decided that we were going to be interviewing some of the photography students, talk about what they think of the photography course as well. We also decided that we were going to take some photos of photography equipment, of what they actually use on the course. And we'd also got to film the photography students of them preparing for their shoots for their coursework they are doing. And the last thing we planned out that we was going to be doing was going to use some examples of the work they've created from this photography course. And from this, I think we worked really well as a team and created a great website to influence secondary school leavers to maybe join the photography course. And that's what we did for my advertising assignment in Level 3 Year 1.
I really enjoyed it. It was nice to work in a group and do something that wasn't just filming. We did a bunch of different things like photography, writing, researching, and I was really pleased with the outcome because I've never done anything like that before.
I think that the advertising assignment was pretty good, because I think it was a good way to like experiment with our skills of like planning and like doing teamwork as well, communication and stuff like that. Because we planned out like our questions that we'd ask into like interviews and stuff like that, and for production wise we'd like take photos of like stuff for our website, and also interview Leo with like photography students to like gain insight on like photography for our website. And then for like post-production, Mel would edit these photos, and we'd all work together to edit the interviews as well, like using Adobe as well. So yeah, that was a good way of learning that kind of side of media.
The second piece of work experience that I did on Level 3 Year 1 was filming some training videos for the NHS, which are just showing what to do if someone has a heart attack, to show upcoming nurses to work in the Grimsby Hospital. So we would work in separate groups to film specific scenes, and I remember that I filmed the house scene with Riley and Alfie, which was basically like the intro of the training video. And I believe the other part I filmed was the guy getting transferred into the hospital. Some of the scenes I couldn't film because they had syringes going into, like, I know it was like mannequins, but with fake blood, but I can't stand seeing something like that because it just makes me uneasy. So other than that, we edited our own parts of the training video, and I believe, I'm pretty certain that the nurse was really happy with how the NHS videos came out, and that's pretty much what I did for that work experience for that time.
For the NHS work experience, it was later on into our first year, so we were more experienced in what we had to do, and we knew what we had to do with the cameras, so it was higher quality in the types of footage that we produced. Again, it was quite fun to do because we was working with the NHS, so it was a professional business we were working with. I think everyone had fun doing it, and I just think it was a really good opportunity for us overall.
The fourth assignment that I did on level 3 year 1 was the music assignment, which I consider to be one of my favourite assignments on that year, and I'll say why. So at first we were put in groups of 3, which I was with Virginia and Karen, which James obviously put us into. And he gave us a song to create, and it was like a test, a music video from it. And the song that we had to like recreate from was made by someone from the music department, and I think she was a DJ as well. And we had to somehow create an artistic music video out of, which did not happen, because in the end it did turn into like a performative music video. However, when the video was showed to the group, everyone seemed to laugh at that video. So I did take some notes from that video that we did. So for my actual music video, I already decided it was going to be a performative music video. And I had 3 music videos in mind. One was the Cha-Cha Slide, the other was Macarena, and the last one I thought of was the Gangnam Style. And I thought to myself, well, what would be the most ridiculous video to make and the easiest to recreate? And in the end, I chose the Gangnam Style video, and I also had to think about who was going to be the main character in that video. And I chose Josh because I knew it wouldn't be something he'd play that part, he'd do. So I had to try and force him to be in the video, and thankfully I got him to be in it. So I did my filming, which was one of the scenes that took longer than it should have. And there's a story to this, because when I was capturing the scene of Josh and Riley in the elevator, it was taking longer than it should have because when I was filming on the first floor, there was people waiting on the floor below us, waiting to get into the elevator, and they would see them doing that exact scene, which kept making them laugh in embarrassment. So it was taking longer to get the right shot. However, in the end, I did get the right shot, and I was able to edit the whole thing. And after that, James posted that video on Instagram, and Josh told me that his family found out about the video and told him that he acted pretty great in the video, which made myself think that the video I created was very successful because it gained so much attention because of the humour. So I'd like to say thank you, Josh, for being part of the video. You're a very great actor. So that's pretty much what I did on my music assignment from that year. And I felt bad for when I created that video because I believe so many people from the level 3 year 1 group created way better videos than me for that music assignment, because in the video there was some of the camera's shots were like, or the scenes, shall I say, were overexposed, and I didn't create enough scenes in the video, and I believe it got that much attention that some of his friends as well saw the video of Josh dancing, and I really enjoyed it. It was very funny, so that's what I did for that assignment.
Leo's music video was good. It made me laugh. Yeah, it was. I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming. There was nothing to suggest that Leo was going to make a pretty good recreation of the Gangnam Style video. I enjoyed it. So, look, there are bits in it that you'd change if you were being a bit picky. There's a bit of camera shake. There's a bit of overexposure, but the whole video as one is entertaining. It's good. I like the fact he got everyone involved. Not sure if Josh feels the same. I like the fact that Leo gets involved a bit later on. Yeah, it's shot well, it's edited well. When you think you could pick any song in the world and he picked that one, it's good. No, it always makes me laugh. I think, because obviously lots of people have seen it on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. I think like most of the other students on other courses or other levels of media all think it's fantastic and recognise Josh from it and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh my god, this video. Let's just say I do not rewatch that video ever. I will never probably rewatch that video. Leo loves this fucking video. I don't. There was a lot. Like, yeah, okay, it does well. Yeah, all that, but I don't like my partake in that video. But let's move on from that. My experience overall, it was fun. I'll say it was. I prepared myself physically, mentally, emotionally. For that entire role, I prepared myself before every scene, emotionally, and just it's gonna happen. It's gonna be on the Instagram, and it was. And my nana was the one who told me about it because she saw it as well, of course. So it was very awkward. One of the few scenes is that just dancing in the middle of college. That was embarrassing as. The elevator scene. Oh, don't get me started. The elevator scene where I was just kneeling on the floor, I think it was, and Riley was thrusting behind my head, and we went up and down the elevator like 10 different times, and like couple times people from floors below just opened the elevator just to see Alfie thrusting behind me. So that was just very embarrassing, having to tell them, yeah, sorry, we're just filming something, I'm sorry. And then we would have to keep doing this until it was perfect and like nobody would get in our way. So this happened for a good 5 to 10 minutes of us going up and down the elevator while I was getting thrusted in the back of my head, with multiple people coming on the elevator, terrified of what they could see. So you could say it was an experience. I would say it was trauma. Yeah, would I do it again? No. Leo would need to find someone else. Would I want to get thrusted in the back of the head again? No, I would not. I hated the floor of the elevator. It was dirty as. Yeah. So otherwise, it was fun. I will say it was fun to make, and it was an experience. Would I want to do it again? No. But all I can say, it was fun if you look at it a certain way. Yeah.
Right, so the last piece of work experience that I did this year on level 3 year 1 was filming a gig at Doc's Academy, which was students and staff from the music department performing on stage and even performers around Grimsby, in which we had 4 videographers filming, 2 of them on top of being, I think there was 2 of them on the top of the balcony. One was next to the sound equipment, which I believe was Josh, and he was getting the audio. And I was right at the front of the stage filming all the performances, which fully knackered my body out as I was moving a Sony 160, so it was a really heavy camera. So I had to keep moving left and right, which made my shoulders and my legs burning. I believe there was a picture out there, I believe Alfie took, which pretty much showed how knackered I was by the end of the day. But after that, I think it was the day after we did, when we was editing, we decided to edit one performance individually, so it turned out a bit more quicker and we'd edit much faster. The videos did turn out great, and this was put on YouTube with I think it was named each performance they did, and I thought it was alright. That's what we did for my final work experience on level 3 year 1.
I really enjoyed that. It kind of opened my eye and showed me that I actually really enjoy doing like concert photography and videography, and it also was a good contact to have Doc's Academy, as they're always looking for young people and work experience, and I had a really good time that night.
So for my level 3 year 1 FMP, I decided to do a podcast on football because number 1, I'm a United fan. And the second reason was that a month or 2 earlier, before I decided to think about my FMP, the level 3 year 2 students actually teach us how to set up and present a podcast. So I wanted to use the knowledge that I have gained from that and create my own podcast from scratch. And overall it did go well. However, I did have to redo it again because the audio was too quiet from the cameras, so I was unable to sync the audio together. So I was unable to multicam it. But other than that, it was great. I did feel bad for Grace because I don't think she got enough talkative because Riley was speaking and me speaking way too much because he took the mickey out of Ryan Reynolds and Wrexham. But other than that, it did turn out great and I was able to do it pretty simply. So that was all I did for my FMP in level 3 year 1.
I enjoyed the idea of the FMP because you did a football podcast, and I quite like football, so I thought it was a good opportunity to talk. And it was Leo and Riley, but Riley just spoke for a lot of it about his football team, so I feel like me and Leo didn't get a lot of a chance to say anything. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was quite a unique project to do, and because it was football as well, it was something that I'm passionate about, so I did enjoy it. But if there was a little bit more speaking time, I think it would have been better for both of us.